Do you like discipline? Not lack it, but do you like it? Discipline is one of those words that you either have a love or a hate relationship with. I, for one, love discipline, even at the times that I'm resisting it. And the reason why that is because I understand the value of what comes on the other side of discipline, right? So, one of the things that discipline has taught me over the years is there is a sense of accomplishment. There is a sense of of pride. There is a sense of breaking through something. It's like when you go to the gym and you work out, if you had an emotional, turbulent time, when you're working out, you can actually feel a lot of those emotions walking out of your working out of your muscles, out of your body. One of the exercises I do with clients is we have a kickboxing dummy and we take a baseball bat. And when they are stressed and dealing with the issues of their trauma and everything, they take and they hit that dummy and they release whatever is inside of them. But it takes a discipline to really understand and know what it is that is inside of them. So today, the verse is Hebrews 12:11. It says, "No discipline seems pleasant at the time, but painful. Later on, however, it produces a harvest of righteousness and peace." And and that's what truly discipline is. It's fighting through all the gunk that's holding you back so that you can get to the peace that you're seeking, that you can get to the contentment and the joy and the healing that you're seeking. So, you know, many of you know I'm wearing my red shirt today. Remember everyone deployed. I'm prior military. My husband's prior military. My son is prior military, and I have a fake son that's currently serving. And so with that, we all went through boot camp. We all went through trainings. We all went through inspections. We all went through things that really challenged us and pushed us. Like, never in my wildest dream would I think that folding my nightcap, which is basically a yellow hat, that yellow toboggan, or it's a black toboggan in the military, folding my black toboggan in a certain way and making sure it was in my locker to where it was touching the back wall and the right wall in the far back would have been discipline. But it was. It was discipline for teaching me how to be present and attention to detail and knowing that the details matter when the big things come. See, that's what discipline's shaping you for. It's shaping you for what your future is holding. Yesterday, I'm in a mastermind, and yesterday my friend gave us our challenge for the next 100 days, and it's a worksheet, and it's 100 days of challenges that we have to do, and there's 5 things we have to do every day before we can bubble in the bubble. And that is something that is amazing to me because it holds me accountable. It holds me accountable to a sheet of paper, but it also holds me accountable to that group of people that I'm in the mastermind with. It holds me accountable to myself because there's going to be growth on the other side of this. I can already see there's going to be growth on the other side of this, but I cannot get to that growth unless I'm disciplined every day to check off the 5 steps that we have to do, right? Part of being in the military, like I said, is boot camp. When I went into boot camp, I had been delayed entry program, right? So delayed entry program means that you're waiting for the opening for the school that you chose. And I was an aviation electrician My school was a little heavily uh, staffed at that time. And let me just give you a little tidbit of information here. If you have anybody that's wanting to join the military and the schooling that they're wanting to join is 6 months to a year out, then that means that they are heavily staffed and it might be harder to get their choice duty station. Just a little tidbit, little extra dose of golden nugget there for you today. But I had to wait a year. I didn't know that all of this that I just shared with you at that time. I had to wait a year before I went in. In that year, I worked on my push-ups. I worked on my sit-ups. I worked on every piece of the puzzle that I was going to be going through in boot camp. And you know what? When I got to boot camp was a lot easier for me than it was for so many other people. So, one of the things that I am excited about is the the discipline that I got from that. I got out of there, even though it was a little bit easier for me, there were still some surprises along the way. So because I was a strong person with the sit-ups, normally the weaker ones were paired with me, where they were put arm in arm with me, to where I not only had to lift my weight, I had to lift their weight too. I had to help them with their burdens, right? Well, that discipline that I had done at home prepared me to be a leader when I was in boot camp. I wasn't looking for a leadership role, but that discipline opened those doors for me. Being a part of this devotional that I'm doing every morning, and this is the first time I'm doing it on TikTok Live. I've never done a TikTok Live really before today. So welcome to all of you in TikTok land that are tapped into this today. How are you doing? I would love for you to share and like any of this and let me know what your thoughts and feelings are, because I've got people commenting on Facebook and Instagram. But what I would really like from this is to really make sure that I get so disciplined in what I'm doing that it becomes a secondhand habit. It is just a natural habit that I deal with on a regular basis. I don't have to question what I'm doing at 9 o'clock every weekday morning. I know that I'm pushing record and we're going live, right? And so one of the things that I would say is my biggest struggle is probably my fitness. And it didn't used to always be that way. Back in the early 90s, we had a friend that had a gym behind the business that my husband worked at. And I would go and do workouts with him. And I also did the cleaning of the gym, his apartment, his books, all of that. But that extra anchor of taking care of the place helped me stay disciplined to show up and do the work. And this guy was a big bodybuilder dude. I'm not a big bodybuilder dude. I don't really like lifting a lot of weights, even though that's the period of life I'm in now. But showing up, I would get on the treadmill and I would get right next to, the girl that was going for Miss Olympia, because she would fly in from Colorado to do the workout. And the discipline doesn't mean that I'm doing the same workout that she's doing. The discipline means that I am pushing through whatever limitations or boundaries that I'm dealing with to be able to overcome that and get to the next level. Overcome whatever obstacle I'm at, whatever breakthrough that I need to find, right? So we do 3 challenge questions on this for those of you in TikTok world. The areas of life, what are the areas of life you could benefit from more discipline? Maybe it's to not open up the refrigerator and eat a bowl of ice cream at 9 o'clock at night. I don't know anybody that does that. Or it could be getting out and taking a walk. It could be saying positive affirmations over yourself so that you can stay focused and stay uh, mental clarity and enjoy sunshine, especially if you work in an office every day. You need an opportunity to embrace the sunshine. Then, uh, how can you create structure that supports your growth? For me, for the first 30 days of this devotional challenge, I used my chat GPT. I had ChatGPT help me line out verses that I was going to talk about, topics that we were going to talk about, the 3 challenge questions, and I even asked it for some prompts to give me for my life application stories because I use ChatGPT a lot for my business. And so it it gave me the tools that I didn't have to throw a lot of brain injury in energy, not injury, brain energy into it. I was able to just tweak what it already gave me to really talk about what I wanted to talk about, what I needed to talk about, and what's going to lead us into the next season that we're going to be talking about the strength of women in the Bible. And then, uh, so every morning, what I had my VA do, which is AKA my daughter. My daughter's my VA. She's taking on clients right now, but I had her go into my StreamYard. I had her build out the thumbnail. I had her put up all these things already scheduled for 9 a.m. every weekday morning through half the month of May, so that I knew it was all there. All I had to do is sit here, hit record, and I was ready to go. I set myself up for success in that discipline. I set myself up for success in the discipline. I removed some of the barriers. Oh, I don't know what I'm going to talk about. Well, I've got 30 days lined out. Oh, I've got to set up the StreamYard. Oh, it's already set up. Oh, I don't know how to use TikTok Live. Well, I got on and played with it a little bit yesterday and figured out how to do it. All it was a picture of my face while I was trying to do it, but I did it, right? So I removed the obstacles, which is part of the discipline. I removed the obstacles to figure out what it is that I needed to do. And then what small action today can lead to lasting change. Nicole, I see you in the chat. What is something you can do today? Maybe it's something on the 5 things that Danielle gave us yesterday, but what is one small thing you can do today that you know is going to lead to lasting change? I get tickled. There's a meme that goes around ever so often, and it shows 2 lines, and it's 2 guys with pickaxes digging a tunnel. And one of them is digging and digging and digging and digging, and he gets about that far away from the diamonds that he's digging for, and he quits. One of the things that working out with that world-class bodybuilder coach taught me was when I get to the point that I want to quit, I just need to give myself a few steps more, a few actions more, a few more reps, a few more steps, a few more minutes on the Zoom, on the live, just a few more. Because in that few more moments, this is where I wanted to quit, but then, those are what we call but then moments. This is where I wanted to quit, but then I was able to break through what was holding me back. And now I have a greater sense of accomplishment. Something in me has released. I don't have a limiting belief around that anymore. I feel stronger. I feel powerful. I feel more confident. That's what discipline does, right? Discipline opens you up to being able to embrace more for your life. And so, again, today's Bible verse, it's no discipline seems pleasant at the time, but painful later on. But then, However, it produces a harvest of righteousness and peace. So, yeah, that trusting God for your plan for your life and doing what's next, it's because we can't see the path before us, but He can. If we can't see the path before us, we have trust issues. I talked about it the other day, that old Indiana Jones issue or movie where he goes to the edge of the cliff and he's like, oh my God, there's this gorge here, but something in him takes a handful of dirt and casts it out, and it reveals an invisible bridge, right? Well, that's your invisible bridge. That but then moment is your invisible bridge to all that God is promising, all that God is offering, all that God has already put in alignment for you that you just need to accept. Because there are things that hold us back. Things that hold us back are our limiting beliefs. Things that hold us back are, I'm not qualified. I have shame. I am not as eloquent. I have done some bad things in my life that everybody else will disqualify me for. Nobody, not even you, can disqualify you from something that God has already qualified you for. Period. And so for that, you have to tune in to those but then moments. When you have that, you need to start asking yourself, what is the opposite of this thought? That may be the discipline right there for you. Nicole, that may be it for you. That may be it for many people, is when that limiting belief comes in, taking a pause and saying, okay, for me, it was, why would anybody want to listen to me do a devotional? Why would anybody want to hear me do a devotional? But God reminded me, I asked you to do the devotional. I'm asking you to find discipline in this. I'm asking you to trust me. Once I took pause with that and journaled with it, yes, I wrestle with God, and a lot of times it sounds more like me and him and an Eminem record, but we push through that, then we're able to truly find a peace. And here we are, we're on day 18 of me doing this. We're over halfway through me doing this, and I'm getting more and more comfortable every day. And as I get comfortable, I've added TikTok. I don't know how well it's going to do on TikTok, but I've added TikTok. It's giving me an opportunity to exercise the giftings and the tools and the voice that God has given me to reach the people that He has put in my circle, right? So there is I don't know how many of you believe in prophetic words, but when I was in junior high, there was Josh McDowell was really big doing youth conferences, and Al Denson played a lot of music for the Josh McDowell events. And I attended a Josh McDowell event, and we were all kind of lined up. Those of us that wanted prayer, we were all kind of lined up at the altar. And these men and women would come by and they would pray over us. And I had heard the prayer next to me before the guy got to me. And when he prayed over me, he made the comment, Lord, I just feel that this woman has a voice that would reach the nations. And if that is your will for her life, I pray that her voice reaches many, many nations, right? I was 15, 16 years old when this happened. A year later, I'm in drama. My drama instructor says some hurtful words to me. I drop drama. I give up my hope of ever speaking on a stage, speaking on a platform of any form whatsoever. However, the challenges that I am seeing now are challenges pressed up against me because I'm having to break through some of those words that drama instructor said. Even though that guy that prayed over me spoke life into me, the words of that drama instructor have carried bigger weight for me, right? And it was 2013, I think it was. I had a online radio show, and I was interviewing Rabbi Sobel from California. He's an amazing man. And we were visiting, and he asked me a question. Typically, I'm the interviewer, I ask the questions, but he asked me a question about, my home life and things like that. And I was talking to him about my kids and what we call our fake kids, which are a group of my son's friends that have joined us and been a part of our lives because we just co-parented with their parents, right? And in doing that, I started talking about their nationalities. One was from Rwanda, one was from, Puerto Rico, Mexico, Tonga, Samoa. And Rabbi Sobel, after I told him about my prophetic word, he came back to me and he goes, "Isn't it amazing that you had a voice that would reach the nations and you never even had to leave your kitchen table?" So, whatever it is you're disciplining for, just know it may not look like what you have envisioned in your head. It may be so much better. So, just keep pressing through. Again, what area of your life could you benefit from more discipline? How can you create structure that supports your growth? And what small action today can lead to lasting change? So I look forward to hearing from you in the comments and sharing this with other people that you may find helpful. We will be back on Monday, and on Monday we are talking about prayer, because the power of prayer, man, it can move mountains. So I will see you on Monday. Talk to you then.